I'm Sharon Dawson. I work for the Design Studio here in Raleigh. I do social media management for them and internet marketing. So my goal is to get people found on Google. They want to be #1 on Google, and they also want to be able to promote their brand online. So that's one of my other goals for my job. So my specific passion is social media marketing. My goal is to get people to learn more about just Facebook and Twitter and getting into the more interesting, different type of elements of social media like Pinterest, Instagram, moving into Snapchat, which actually the next session is going to be covering some of those guys as well. So trying to get people to think of different ways to promote their brand and their messages. If you want to follow along with my presentation or download it afterwards, it's actually up on SlideShare already. And I've actually tweeted this link out at the end. It'll go out at 10 o'clock as a reminder. So while you guys are writing, I'd love to get just a quick opinion from some of the other folks in the audience. How many of you are already using Pinterest for a business? Okay. Let me move to my agenda. So there's 4 things that I can cover today. So we've already had some feedback on some of them. What specifically would benefit you the most of these 4 things? So I've got a limited amount of time today, and I want to make sure that it's open for questions as we go along. So is it more helpful to learn about setting up Pinterest boards in general, focusing on the Pinterest analytics and the learnings from that, or moving into real life examples? A lot of numbers. Okay, I got some ones. 1, 3 and 4.
1 and 4.
Okay, 1 and 4. Okay, so I'll skim through analytics really fast then, because there's not a lot of people. And Pinterest analytics is actually pretty easy to follow and learn from. But the thing is, we'll go through analytics and actually get some ideas for learning from that. So I won't spend much time actually showing you how to work analytics. I'll show you how to make decisions from there and some real life examples. So let me start off with some Pinterest basics. If you may already know this information, you may not. So the target market, everybody says Pinterest is for women who are crafting. That's no longer the case anymore. So yes, it actually is a lot of women. 70% of Pinterest users are women. How many of you are selling what you're selling to women? Yes. But women will also buy. Yes. So it's actually a really good thing, but also there are some men out there. Ryobi, the toolmaker company, actually has a really strong Pinterest presence. And also Roto-Rooter, I think there's a Rooter, Mr. Rooter I think it is, actually has a really strong Pinterest presence, and that's plumbing on Pinterest. So there is some male tailored boards as well. The Ryobi is specifically one that's really nicely focused towards men on Pinterest. The ages for the target market is 15 to 34. How many of you are targeting people who are 15 to 34? What you're selling. Okay. So at some point, if you're outside of this zone, if you're looking for senior males, Pinterest may not be the best choice for you. Yes, some of them might be on there, but your better folks that you're going to get are the younger women. If you're trying to aim towards younger women, Pinterest is the right place for you. And for the folks who just came in, my presentation is actually up on SlideShare. I'm going to tweet about that as well, but it's SlideShare, and my name is Sharon A. Dawson. So you can follow along online, or you can get it later on. Pinterest lasts a lot longer than the other tools. And this is something a lot of people don't realize. So 50% of the clicks and views you will get on Twitter, you will get within 24 minutes. And then they go away, or they start to trickle down. On Facebook, 50% of the clicks and views are within 90 minutes. 1 pin on Pinterest, which takes you about the same amount of time, 3.5 months. So the amount of people say, how much time do I have to spend on Pinterest? How often do I have to use it? It'll last a lot longer, so it's a better value for the time that you're spending. I don't have time to tweet through on Facebook and go on Pinterest. Well, think about, are they your target market, and how long do you want your effort to work? You send a tweet, you got 24 minutes to capture most of the people. Pinterest, you got 3.5 months. So if you have a Pinterest board, you don't have to pin a couple times a week. You don't even have to pin maybe once or twice a month. It'll still last for you. People continue to engage with pins that are old. The older the pin, the better the pin. So unlike Twitter or Facebook, the older, the better. The longer time a pin has been out there in Pinterest, the longer people will have been able to see it, the more repins you'll get, the more likes you'll get, the more traffic you'll get. So you actually want to have stuff staying out on your Pinterest, and you leave it there. You park stuff out on Pinterest and you leave it up there, and people will see it for a long period of time. Here are some comparisons of Pinterest versus Facebook. A lot of people say, is it worth doing Pinterest versus Facebook? So people find Pinterest entertaining, and so do they for Facebook as well. To get inspiration on what to buy, 70% of people will look for stuff to buy on Pinterest versus 17% on Facebook. I believe the percentage is 32% of all users on Pinterest will buy the item they saw on Pinterest. So they are there to get ideas of what specifically to buy. They don't do that on Facebook, they don't do that on Twitter. To help keep track of or collect things they like, and this is where they're getting ideas. So if you're doing an art gallery, they're looking for an art style, perhaps for their office, for their next home, or to give to a friend. They might get a lot of ideas from you about some of the art styles I like. They might start following your boards. Perhaps there's a trend in maybe there's Japanese style arts in the art gallery. They start following that to get some ideas. They want to keep up with the latest trends. They want to connect with people. That's about even with Facebook. They want to talk to their brands and listen to their brands. So 43% of them will go on Pinterest for their brands, and only 24% will go on to Facebook for their brands. So this is a better engagement with people actually looking to speak to your brand and see what your brand has to offer. And then again, they're here for special offers. So specifically, they're not going on Facebook for that anymore. Back in the day, that used to be the thing. But now, if you've got young women especially, they're going to Pinterest to learn about your brand and to see what you have to offer. Some of the benefits, infographics. How many of you have seen a Twitter infographic and it's this tall, yet the infographic is really this tall? The full thing shows up on Pinterest. We take a lot of time and effort in digital marketing to create infographics. When we're making a promotion, they show in full on Pinterest. It doesn't get cut off. And a lot of times if you're creating an infographic, your branding is at the very bottom. You have your little detail. Your logo is usually at the bottom of your infographic. If you are not on Pinterest, you're going to lose that branding from your infographic. So it gives you a chance to show a whole infographic. 32% of the people who purchased saw the item on Pinterest first. The images show high in the image searches. And Pinterest has 70 million users a month. The average Pinterest user spends about 15 minutes on Pinterest at a time. How long do you spend on Twitter? Just in one quick pop. Throw out some numbers. 0. Okay, people using Twitter. Gabby, how long do you spend on Twitter at a time?
A few minutes.
Few minutes. Katie, how long do you spend on Twitter at a time?
Just a couple minutes.
A couple of minutes. The average person on Pinterest is at least 15 minutes. Most of us, 30, 40. Time flies when you're on Pinterest. You would not believe how much time can be sucked into Pinterest. And they are looking at more and more things, engaging with your brand, seeing what you have to say. They are there to learn, to network, to get ideas. They don't just jump in, look at one thing, and go away. When you're in a Pinterest session, you're engaged, you're sharing, you're pinning, you're repinning, you're focused on Pinterest. And a lot of times they're not distracted, so it's not like we get a quick tweet or a quick Facebook message on our phone, we grab it in the middle of a conference, we look at it, we set it back down. When we're doing Pinterest, we're engaged in Pinterest. There's also other options like a promoted pin and a pin it button on your website. Who here has a pin it button on one of their websites? Yeah. It's a great way when you have a visual product to show to get people to share your information across. And here's some businesses for ideas. And I know a handful of you mentioned that you wanted to go through some real life examples. Here's a couple of them to write down for some ideas. These are not specifically small businesses only. But we've got Fresh Fully, which is natural foods. Dr. Josh Axe is a radio personality who speaks about chiropractic and health. Pop Cosmo, My client, Crossfields Chiropractic Office Design, so that one's a real example of an everyday person as such doing the work. And then Ryobi is a good example of targeting men on Pinterest. And again, my slides are up on SlideShare, so after the fact, if you want to look up these information, you can look them up on SlideShare as well. The biggest problems we have with clients is they say, I don't know these people on Pinterest. How do we think we address this question?
Meet them.
That's the point. You don't want to know the Pinterest. You don't want to know the users. They're promoting your brand. You don't need to know who they are. Their job is to interact with new people, get all these new people to engage with you. You don't need to know who they are. You look up their demographics and you look up their information in the analytics. You don't need to know who they are. The people who read pinned aren't local. What do we say to that? They repinned. We're happy about that. Again, they're promoting your brand. They're promoting what you have to say simply by repinning. They may not be local, but the person they repin and they see it, they may be local. The more people that repin, the more people that are going to see it, a number of them are probably going to be local to you. My direct competitor repinned me. What do you say that? Good. It means they're jealous. It means they like what we're doing. We want our competitors to repin us. They are promoting our brand.
They're watching you.
Yeah, they're watching us, but also like it's kind of a compliment. I sell a service, I have no pictures.
You can always use yourself at work.
Yeah.
35 pictures to my side.
There's always pictures out there. Also, we're not selling a service on Pinterest. Pinterest is a lifestyle social media. All the pictures that I post are not going to be, so for a daycare, it's not going to be the daycare application. I'm going to post pictures of smiling kids, laughing kids, kids doing stuff in Raleigh. It's a Raleigh daycare. There's all the fun stuff to do with kids in Raleigh. Keeping it local, but specifically not selling something on Pinterest. Anyone else selling a service? House cleaners?
Home care.
Home care?
Sales training.
Yeah.
So you can
So
put,
let-
if I may,
Yeah,
you
sure.
could put pictures of happy customers.
Yeah. You can put pictures of happy customers. You can put pictures of what you're training about on your sales training. So if you're specifically talking about filling a conference room full of people, you can have pictures of conference rooms full of people. You can talk about handshakes. There is a difference between the type of handshake you give. If you're a female, are you allowed to extend your hand to a man? In some cultures, that's not cool. These days, I sure hope it is. Things like handing off a business card to somebody in Japan. You have to use two hands, you have to accept their business card, look at it, you never write on the back. Things like that are very visual that you can still share. It is still very important for your clients to learn about. Home care for seniors? Seniors. There's a lot of opportunity for seniors to post some pictures on there. So even if you have a service without specific pictures, you have happy customers, you have people buying your services, but also what do seniors look for? What do seniors look for when they're on the internet? Pictures of their grandkids, yes. Maybe some information about some of the TV shows that they watch. Maybe some information about AARP. So there's some opportunities there that you can engage with. You can follow AARP, see what they're talking about. Share their information, link in with them. And now I'm going to talk briefly about Pinterest analytics because most of you said you don't really want to focus a lot on analytics. I'm going to go live for this part. Any questions so far? Comments? Yeah.
So, do you have any idea why it's mostly women who use
I think it's mostly because it started with crafting boards. And it hasn't, a lot of people, how many of you kind of still think it's a lot of crafting boards? Okay, some people still think that it's women on crafting boards. Is it started that way, the visualness of it, and I think it's somewhat of a bit of the time spent, without going into details on gender, is the women are more willing to spend time on there, building on a board, creating it, and that's just kind of statistics. But also what's being presented on here. So now that more women are on there, more people are targeting them, and it's just making that market grow. There's a bunch of women's fashion up here. There's a bunch of mommy stuff up here. That's very popular on Pinterest, and so a lot of women are staying on Pinterest. Yeah.
So I have a question, using your client as a direct example. Tell me, what is your strategy or your goal with your chiropractor to use Pinterest? I mean, what is your outcome that you want?
Sure. So this is my client, Crossfield Chiropractic Office Design. They do design, interior design and construction for chiropractic offices throughout the nation. The goal is for people to call them and say, hey, I'm building a chiropractic office, can you help me design it? So a lot of their people will see their Pinterest board first. So in April, 24% of the users to their website came in straight through Pinterest. So that's a big market they've captured straight through Pinterest. We have a daycare client here in Raleigh that we work with as well. 18 of their users last month came in through Pinterest. So they're coming right to you from Pinterest. So if you're not here, you need to be here. The biggest thing that our goal here is to get people to get ideas. They are holding themselves as a resource for chiropractors, but other office designs as well. They're actually getting more and more traffic from people in similar fields as chiropractic, such as massage clinics, neurotherapy. These guys are actually reaching out to them. So their goal is to get people to see them as a resource, hit their website, give them a call, hey, I need your help. I need your help picking out a paint color. Then they upsell them into what does your design look like? What does your floor plan look like? Maybe we can design a floor plan for you. Maybe we can build that office. So their specific goal is to get themselves as a resource for the community. And once they understand that, they go to their website, they consult them. So let me show you a specific thing that we've been doing, the recent strategy that we've been doing for this client. So the way the client's boards are set up is there are a lot of design inspiration things, and they're very focused on specific targets. So specifically, if we talk about offices, it's kind of a generic title, but here's a bunch of offices, most of them they have designed, but there's other people's designs are on here as well. So we look at some ideas for a couple of offices. There's not a whole lot on this board yet. It's something new we did. So here's a dentist's office, and there's some kind of cute chairs here. So they're kind of promoting more offices. So they're just kind of showing visual ideas about, hey, here's some ideas if you want to design an office. You have to have a great front desk to make a great first impression for your company. So the reception front desk inspiration is a strong board. We have 91 pins and 222 people following just this board. So a lot of people are interested in what they're saying about front desk. So it's the first thing your client sees when you walk into your office. So this applies beyond chiropractic offices. So we've got kind of a wooden look here. We've got some rounded desks. They're big on the rounded desk look. We've got kind of some wooden slats in the background here. So the goal here is they're promoting ideas of stuff they've done and other people have done that looks sharp. And so people are going to come to this board and go, oh, hey, I like this idea. They're going to click on this pin. They think this is pretty. I'd love to have this stonework on the side of my office. Where was that pin from? Their website, chiropracticofficedesign.com. And so this is how to get users from Pinterest to your website. The pins that you pin are from your website. So let me actually show you this example, specifically this picture here. This is the client's website. So they have a portfolio page. There's two spots that most people put pictures on their website. So we have a photo gallery or a portfolio. We also have your blog or your resources. So specifically, this picture is here on their portfolio page. And we also have more detailed pictures here. So pictures again on this page. And here's our pin it button. So it's hidden a little bit down here, but specifically pin our designs to your Pinterest board. So this is another great tool for getting people to share your images. They're doing the work for you, selling it. They like what they see on your website, they pin it, it's now out there for the whole world to see. They just helped you market yourself. So a pin it button's great for that. Yeah?
How do you post a pin and button on your website?
There's actually some code that you can generate through Pinterest. Honestly, Google it. It's like 5 steps. It's pretty simple. They give you an embed code in HTML, and you just dump that on your site.
Thank you.
So specifically, this pin that we did is on Chiropractic Office Design. And so a couple of these other folks, so now it's on this person, this person, this person. These 7 other people have now taken resources from my client's website, putting it on Pinterest on their boards. How many people get to see their boards and interact with it? So that's how we get them to post from our website. Specifically, we have it on our website. We offer a pin it button on our resources or our pictures pages, on our blogs or our picture pages. People will pin it, but they see the original source of this picture is chiropracticofficedesign.com. So your goal when you pin buttons on Pinterest, you have two ways of pinning them. You can either pin them from the web or you can pin them from your computer. The best thing to do is put it somewhere on your website, pin it from the web. So then they can find your website. So they click here, right there is where it links to. Yeah.
You said that they also pin pictures from other people's design.
Yeah.
They don't put that on their website, do they?
Nope. In Pinterest, you want to share a lot of ideas. So the boards would be boring if it was only their ideas. So we post a lot of their ideas, but we post some other people on there too. Because each time somebody posts my pin, I will see a little notification about that. So specifically, Crossfields, I checked this I think 2 days ago. So they got 39 notifications in the last 2 days. So this is another strategy when you're in Pinterest. There's not only building your own boards and creating your own boards, there's using other people. So we'll see, so this girl, I don't know who she is, she likes some of my pins. Cindy Craig Art likes some of my pins. I've got a DDS here that likes some of my pins. So specifically, my target market for this client is chiropractic offices, but we're not opposed to building a dental office. She's a DDS. I'm gonna go follow her. She'll get a notification, I just followed her. She already looked at my board, and now I'm saying, not only did I see you looked at me, I followed you. I like what you have to say. She will see that. She'll see another engagement back from our company, and she might be like, maybe I need to take a look at these guys again. Perhaps if ideas for a dental office. 84 pictures. She's right now building a dental office. This is the perfect time for my client to jump in, give her a call and say, I see you're building a dental office. Can we help you out with that? So she's specifically saying she wants ideas for a dental office. We build offices. This is the perfect match. This is the client we want. So we now know we can go after her. From what little bit, that one click I learned on Pinterest, this is what I learned about this perfect client for me. As long as she's in the US, we're good. So she likes this front desk. What I'm gonna do, I'm also gonna like that. Again, target market, she's a client I want. She's building a new office. I'm gonna like something she did, I'm also gonna pin it. So I'm gonna say, hey, you're awesome. I like what you have to say, I'm gonna put it on my own board. And I'm gonna, I've saved it. Well, I'm gonna repin it somewhere else. I'm gonna put it into the architecture board. And again, she'll get a notification on here. And I put it in ADA compliance, that's fine. She'll get a notification on here that I pinned it. And again, so she'll come back and look at us and say, oh, they're pinning my stuff. Maybe she'll look at us again. Maybe this time she'll click through to our website and makes a call. Does that kind of make sense for how we use this for a specific client? Yeah.
I have another question. I'm assuming that a pin can be linked to any web page.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Any web page. Let me get that one. And she specifically sent us a message, so I could reach back to her. If you see somebody like that, you can send her a message. So yeah, there is direct messaging here on Pinterest. But a number of them, even if you don't follow them back or repin their pins, they will still naturally go to your site. And here's where I'm going to jump into the analytics side. Any other questions kind of about the basic board building? Yeah.
With an art gallery, that we change out the images a lot from the portfolios. Does that link, if you put it on a board, it'll come back to the page? Or if the picture's gone, is the link listed here?
You actually want to, if you can leave them up, you want to have it be able to link back.
So that disappear.
Yeah. So that would, and unless they can go back to your root website. One way to do that is put in redirects. When you take down a page in your images, put a redirect to the home page on your website, the gallery, the portfolio, whichever it is.
The page stays there, just the images on the page.
Right. Actually, as long as the page is still there, it would still redirect you to the page. Even if the image is no longer on the page, the link will bring them back to that page. Yeah. So analytics, if you have a business account, you can get to analytics. If you have a personal account, you cannot. There's a few steps to convert it from a business to a personal account. The way to tell the difference, you might have created an account for your business. It's actually not truly a business account. It hit the top, and if analytics shows up, you're a business account. If it doesn't, you're not. That's the easiest way to tell. There's a few step process to switch it over to a true business account, and that's probably where you should be. So I'm going to go to analytics for these guys. One of the biggest things with analytics, the results they usually give you is about a week or two of data. I like to see a whole month at a time personally, but you can go ahead and change that in here. How many of you have used Pinterest Analytics so far? All right, just a couple of folks here. So it's pretty basic to use. Let me show you kind of several of the features that are in there. So this is specifically talking about what you've done on Pinterest. Here's your audience, the people who are engaging with you, and here's specifically people engaging with your website. So I really like this section because it's specifically saying what traffic's happening from the engagement from your specific website, not just all of Pinterest. But I'm just going to skim into each section briefly to show you guys. So we go into your Pinterest profile. Again, it's only 2 weeks, so I'm going to click down here and switch it to 30 days. So in the last 30 days, we had an average of 3,000 people a day looking at all the stuff we've got on Pinterest. So that's a lot of folks looking at it. So if you were to look at Twitter analytics, how many people, well, I don't know if you can actually see how many people are at your tweets a day, how many people look at your Facebook a day? You compare it to your Facebook analytics, this is really strong. So the number of people seeing your stuff is a lot stronger. Average daily viewers, 1396. The top pins impressions for the last 30 days. How long does a pin, what's the half-life of a pin on Pinterest? I said it earlier. 3.5 months. So this thing has had 30,000 views. This was posted sometime last year. So the longer it's on there, the more traction it can get. So we've had 55 people click on this, and again, this is on our website. They've clicked through from this pin onto our customer's website, 55 people. 158 repins, 13 likes. So we have another one, actually from the same customer, actually, 18,000, 3,000. So this is over, and this is the last 30 days. So these are the top pin impressions. So I can actually look at this pin and see what the traffic is. So I'm showing 48 here, likes, 502 people have pinned it, and here's my picture, and again, right on my site. So that's showing you the top pin impressions, and which boards were the most popular. So Crossfields has about 30 boards on their site, and this is how we take the analytics information to learn what to build next. So several of you had questions about that. So these are the top things. So I'm actually going to show all 30. The top board is the reception waiting room, and the reception front desk inspiration are my top boards over the last 30 days. Where do you think I'm going to put more pins? These boards. So if I scroll down, so these are the top to the bottom, natural light in the doctor's office. I'm not going to do that much work on this board anymore. It's down 30. I want to focus on the top 5 to 10 boards. Specifically, look in your analytics. Do the show more so you can see at least 10, and see those first 10, and this is where you want to put your work. People are already going to those boards, they're already liking those boards, they're already engaging with those boards, put more effort into those. I can have a board out there with 5 pins, hardly anyone uses it, I leave it there, that's fine, that's no big deal. Put your effort into where the people are already going. So this is where analytics tells you that. Where should we put our efforts? And then you can also look for the repins, the clicks, and the all-time stats. So here's my most repinned over all time, so this is not just the last 30 days, but there is a consistency here. So this corrected chiropractic space plan is still up top. It's the most popular one we've got. And here's some other kind of suggestions for some power pins. Let's look at our audience. So these guys are nationwide. So the demographics of my audience, and again, I wanted each time you change a tab, it resets to the default 2 weeks. I always change it to 30 days. The average monthly viewers over the past 30 days, 47,000 people, or well, actually, 47,000 people. Average monthly engaged, 594. 26,000 of them were in the US, which is our target market. 2,000 in Canada. My client might be able to work with that. It might be interesting to some people in Canada. Where are they physically located? Here's where you say, are they local? Where are they? So we've got actually the metro area, considering how many people there are, they're all over the place. New York only had 15 of 26,000. That means the pins are spread everywhere. If you see a lot of metro area, you start polarizing there, you'll see perhaps 2,000 in New York, only 15 of them were New York. San Fran, Los Angeles, Dallas, Fort Worth, Chicago, and it goes on beyond there. What language do they speak? And here's your gender. Did I say 70% of people on Pinterest are female? There's your gender. That's how you verify what your actual demographics are for your site.
How much percent?
The average is 70, but this is a lot higher.
Female.
Quickly, but
I just think we so underestimate the power of the visual people.
Yeah.
Everybody's so locked into business mode that, you know, the visual people in the world really make things happen.
yeah, they do.
We're driven by design and something we saw.
Yeah, and this is proving it. The amount of people that get traffic each month to this thing, and people think, oh, I don't have time for Pinterest. I think you make time for Pinterest. Is my goal. So a couple of people were unspecified. What are their interests? Sir?
I had a question. When you had gone to the analytics, you mentioned that for the metro area.
Yeah.
So there are only numbers that were given, so few for all of those. So where are the rest of the people as far as?
So that's actually, unfortunately, we can't do a deep drill at this point. This is the only bit of information that they gave us, which is a real shame because I would like a lot more detail. But this is a little bit of the information. Pinterest Analytics was only launched, I think, last August. So this is what they have so far. I'm hoping sooner or later they will give us better demographics of metro area. But this is what we have to work with. It's a bit of a challenge, but we work with what they've given us. Interest. So here's how we build new boards. How do we decide we build new boards? We look at our analytics. We go to our audience interests. What my audience is into. They're into design. I'm already representing that on my website and on my Pinterest board. They're into furniture, also not surprising. Home decor, fashion, travel, recipes, photography. I'm not representing that on any of my boards, but maybe there's an opportunity for that. There could be a tie-in for photography of chiropractic offices or just photography that looks nice on the wall of any doctor's office. So I can start adding some Pinterest boards for photography for doctor offices, art for doctor's offices. So a number of my people like photography, but I'm not addressing that. So that might be a new board that we build based on the interests of the people who are already out there and following me. This is what they like. This is what they search for. This is how I build my new boards. So I base my new pins and my new boards on what are my top 10, put more pins into the top 10 and the top 15 boards. The lower ones, don't bother with them as much anymore. But also, what are they looking for? I'm talking about design. I'm talking about architecture. I'm talking about furniture. We've got that covered. What they're looking for is what I'm giving them, but there is some information on here that I'm not providing to them. I'm not giving them fashion. I'm not giving them travel recipes or photography. So maybe there's some opportunities to get some more people who are already liking my stuff with some more boards. And then this is showing some other people who have a lot of pins, kind of in my style, in my audience. And some of them are specifically called chiropractic office design, chiropractic clinic design, chiropractic office design, chiro inspiration. So specifically, chiropractors are making some boards knowing that they're going to start a new office. And they're using a lot of my ideas. And again, if I don't already work with them, they're building these boards, they're my target market, I go after them. I can message them directly, I can pin back and forth, depending on who they are. I mean, we can reach out and call them. A number of chiropractors, and there's actually 2 big chiropractic schools in the country, Life University and Palmer. So we actually have a board dedicated to Life University. So I would say probably 50% of the chiropractors have gone to one or the other of those schools. They did design work at Life University, my alma mater. If I'm a chiropractor, I see they did work at my alma mater. That gives me respect. Also, if I find this Chelsea, if I can find out that she went to Life University, I might be able to have a connection there. Perhaps she knows the professor that they work with. They actually teach at both of these schools to get some leads down the road. So I might be able to reach out to Chelsea through a connection I already have. So having her information is really helpful for me. So this shows some interests and some brands. So these are the other people hang out with that are engaging with my Pinterest boards. So this gives me some ideas of what they're looking for. Etsy. So there's the women crafting, your Etsy, perfect. Better Homes and Gardens. YouTube, apartment therapy, WordPress. So these are some of the other engagements that they're using. It gives me more ideas for my boards. Maybe I see what Etsy's got out there. Maybe I'm not familiar with homedit.com or homedit.com. Maybe I look and see what they've got. Maybe I share some more of their ideas because they're already looking at them. The other piece of analytics, activity from my website. So this is specific to what's happened through my website. So again, I'm going to switch it to 30 days. So 3,000 people, average daily impressions in relation to Pinterest and my website. They tie together. Daily. 3,655 people. It's a great time. The top pin impressions, again, it's the same ones again, but these all came from my website. So I can see how people like the pins that I posted from my website and what more I need to do. Here's the top, I can show more. I can show a bunch of them. And here's, again, the top boards. So these are the ones, again, from my website. So I'm going to look at the boards with the top impressions. I'm going to populate more of these. I'm going to build more stuff like this. We have one called Exam Adjusting Treatment Rooms. What can we do with that board? Any thoughts? Exam Adjustment Treatment Rooms. Maybe 3 different boards. Exam rooms, adjustment rooms, treatment rooms. There is some feedback. We already know it's a top 3 board that we have. People are already using it, they're already engaging with it. Give more information for that. Front desk inspiration. Is there more we can do about front desks and lobbies? Because people are already engaging with that. They're getting ideas from my client's website. They're sharing it, they're using it on Pinterest. Hospitality area, is there something more we can build out for that? Employee break room, it's the same difference as a hospitality area. Maybe we word it as employee break room. And we see what traction that gets, knowing that they're already looking at that stuff anyways. Furniture, there's a lot of subcategories to furniture. I can maybe break up furniture a little further. Doctor's office furniture, reception desk furniture, lobby furniture, or specifically because we're targeting chiropractors, chiropractic furniture, that little bed, the adjusting bed, the rolly beds that they use, you can make a dedicated board just to that furniture. And that's something they're looking for. They need to know what furniture to buy to populate their office. So does that give you guys an idea of how to take the analytics results and how to figure out what to build next? Any other comments or questions? Yeah, Howard.
You know, this is really fascinating. I've been waiting for this talk. Not only because I enjoy you as a speaker, but as a designer. You know, this is the luxury I haven't had a chance to get to because life gets so busy. But when I'm looking at what you're talking about is exactly what I do. Yeah, smile, good. Is exactly what I do with Google Plus, which is, and people don't realize it when it's not just, you know, like a lot of likes on Facebook. When you go into, oh my God, look, 1,000 people looked at this particular post. And you're looking at it the same way, and you're analyzing it, and then that many people came to the website from that post, and then you're deciding what to put up as the next post. And so the strategy you're talking about is the same strategy, and it works, and I think the numbers really surprise people.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, who's on that? You know, well, yeah, and they're communicating with you, and they're responding to you, and they're connecting back, and that turns into sales.
Yeah.
It's not just a million likes that never even come back. is fabulous stuff.
And I'll get into some second. Along that point, so again, I said, I think it was 26% of their users last month came into their website from Pinterest. So a lot of the people are actually clicking on their website. They're engaging, they're working with them. Their average pages per view is about 2.5 on their website last month. People are not only going to their website, they're not bouncing off, they're looking around that thing. We've got the visual, they show the pictures on their website. People are looking around that.
This is not the 99% bounce you get from
Yeah, exactly.
Facebook people.
Yeah.
This is real.
So my
connection.
dentist client recently did a Facebook contest. We gave away a free iPad. Who here wants a free iPad? Yeah, we all want a free iPad. So they had about 40 people enter the contest. How many new clients did they get?
0.
1.
Oh.
So they did a Facebook ad. They spent $250 promoting that ad for 2 weeks. They bought an iPad, $300, whatever. They got 1 new client out of it. So we look at that versus a promoted pin on Pinterest. I'm already showing you the value of Pinterest. Promoted pin, that's a whole nother talk. There's a lot of opportunity there. So you had a question, yeah?
Yes, I'm sorry. When I look at that demographic information, if I have a local business, and it's hard for me to think that I can use this as a conversion platform. You see, so if I've got demographics from New York and Dallas and
Right.
Houston, I really don't care about those people looking at it. I don't care that they're, sharing my brand with someone else because it doesn't denote to who I am here. So how to, more specifically, I have a client who's a local nonprofit, and I've been thinking about women are a big demographic for volunteering. And I've actually been thinking about using Pinterest as a community board, much like you see in Starbucks, where we're
Right.
posting things. However, I just can't draw that local traffic, and that's where I see it not working for that type of client.
The way to tell the local traffic is actually their analytics don't really cover it very well, but Google's does. So I would go to your Google Analytics, look for your referrals from Pinterest, drill down to the demographics from there, and then you can actually see if the traffic's local. Again, Pinterest demographics, it's weak. I would like better, and hopefully it will be better over time. But if you actually just use that referral under Google Analytics, dig down and see if you've got more of the local. But also, none of these boards are targeted. They're in Atlanta, Georgia. None of them say Atlanta, Georgia. There's a lot of opportunities. Let me actually show you another client really quick. That's a local daycare, and their boards are actually targeted locally. And people search for things like Raleigh. They're focused on Raleigh.
Okay, so that's the piece I'm missing.
Yes.
And-
So it's adding that local element. It's not on the example one I gave,
Okay.
but they specifically have kids' party places in Raleigh. It's a strong board for them. Raleigh preschool activities, Raleigh childcare resources. You'll see Raleigh over this
So
thing.
that's a keyword search there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a
Yeah,
keyword.
so putting your local, if you're North Carolina, your Raleigh, your Wake County, whatever it is, adding that to your board, putting that in your hashtags, pinning local things, pinning Marbles Kids Museum, engaging with Marbles Kids Museum. So using local stuff. So again, my first one didn't have a local, but these primary beginnings childcare here in Raleigh, they, I think it was 18% of their traffic last month from their website came in through Pinterest, and they're a lot more local focused.
Okay.
I think I actually had a question this way. Okay, cool. All right.
I think we underestimate, too, the second stage. When you have this much engagement into your website, okay, the thing that Google notices is not which social media it came from. Well, they don't notice Facebook at all, 0. But for something like this, they can see, oh my God, that's 3,000 people came to that website. And then your Google rank goes up, your page rank goes up, because you simply have volume of engagement. And I think that's a second stage that we often don't think about. It's not just direct result from this. And so when you have engagement in 12 cities across the country, you're more important than somebody who has engagement in one city. And so that focus on local is not really a problem.
Yeah.
How many boards do you suggest? At First for Home Builder, we have 27 floor plans that we offer. And now we're introducing elevation to each of the, well, not each floor plan, but probably at least 10 of those floor plans. So an additional 40 floor plan offerings. And then we have a bedroom
maybe start, if you've got 50 boards, if you've got 100 boards, there's nothing wrong with having 100 boards, but look at the analytics and see which are the top 30, spend your time on those boards. So build and randomly throw some ideas out there. So you might have, somebody might need a wheelchair accessible home. That might be super popular for you. That might be a really positive board that you haven't thought of. So throw some boards out there and see what people engage with. Look at your analytics, but I would say there's no limit on boards. So some of the example people, and let me actually go back to my PowerPoint to show you guys, some of the example clients that I talked about, they have a ton of boards. So I would say the biggest clients have about 30 to 50 boards. That's kind of manageable, but then you look at your analytics and see which ones you should spend your time on. But I would say don't build 100 boards and there's only one pin per. Try to find common themes and have a board with at least 10 pins or more, just to give it some bulk. So it's better to combine a board, and then if you know it's very popular, like my exam, adjusting rooms, offices, you break that board out. So I would rather do bedroom designs. You start off with more bedroom designs. If it's really popular, kids' bedrooms, master bedrooms, luxury master suite designs, and break it out from there. So we're almost at the end here. Any other comments, questions? I'm sorry, what was that?
Take a blog and then you can verify it and give them a picture for it.
I don't personally. I actually do manual pinning. And then also, if this then that is fantastic. If this then that, if you guys haven't heard of that, fantastic for auto pinning stuff. When I post a new picture to the website, it'll auto pin it. So I have a lot of that kind of automation going on to help me out with this stuff.
And what is the name of that app?
It's called Article Rich Pins, and you can just, I got a plug-in and I paid $19, and it's worth it, and you verify your blog, but you have to have a picture of your blog at the top, so you want to get a nice picture that represents your blog, and then you verify it and you pull it over into one of your pins on your Pinterest board, and the blog is in that pin, and it goes back to your website.
IFTTT does do the same thing.
Yeah.
What is it?
IFTTT.
If
Oh,
this then
okay,
that.
okay, sorry, I didn't know that, okay.
IFTTT?
If this then that. Yeah. That one, it's similar, but I love it, this and that.
And you have to do it manually every single time you do a new blog?
I do with this plugin, you just go to the bottom of your blog and it'll have all the info and you just click on it and it'll process and verify it and then you can just pin it over. And it's a very nice pen, it looks very nice and it has a description and so.
There's a lot of tools to help you out. So you can look into them, and at some point, there's a lot of great resources for that. So if you're interested in any of my information, you can follow me, you can reach out to me. Again, I'm at zdesign.com, a local Raleigh web design and internet marketing firm. The presentation is up on SlideShare already if you would like to see it. Any other comments or questions? We got to wrap it up.
Great job.
All right, well, thank you everybody for coming out.